Hi everyone, so we finally got some patch notes for patch 2.4.1 going live next Tuesday on October 7th. It's not very large, but I'm going to give you a quick rundown and what it actually means for the game. Also, with the same patch comes the Gift of the Tree event. So I've announced here on Twitter. You get double caches when you turn in your Whispers, which is very good. Whispers are actually very rewarding already right now. And this is something to kind of give you a boost, a lot of gold, mats, lots of items. So this is also something to kind of keep in mind. And I will also try this out and see how juicy this can actually get when you really try. But for now, let's focus on this patch here. So we have the Beast Corner change that people have been waiting for, and also a Hordes change to the Spires. So I have like TLDR here. So for Beast Cornered, what you need to know is that it now works a bit differently. So we have this here. Previously, it drained you more life. Now it's 33% less. And it also gave you less resources. Now it always gives you 40% of the resources you spent back, which is generally a gain of 33%. And it also gives you all the resources back, no matter how much life it drains. So previously that was tied to the life drain. So what happened before is that a lot of people just be at low life all the time and they have like 10% HP and then they wouldn't get any resources back. But now you always get resources back, even if you just heal one life in between, which is relatively easy to do in various ways. You can use stuff like Undying Aspect, Mariana as a follower. You can use like a lucky hit chance to heal on like a ring or something like that, or some other like class mechanic that can heal you just a tiny bit. And that should give you insane amounts of resources. Plus, with the less HP drain, this should definitely help a lot of builds that previously had issues. It doesn't like fully just make it extremely easy to run Beast Cornered now, but with 33% less, it should definitely help with builds that were struggling before and that have at least some sort of healing built in. Then we have the Hordes changes. So this is the one thing that people have been waiting for. So what happens is with Soul Spires, they are now larger and monsters will ambush you inside. So I think this will make Spires actually really good. So far, my best run ever in Infinite Hordes was a Spire strat, which is kind of funny but true. And with that, with Soul Spires just kind of like being relatively easy to complete, I expect that they will be noticeably larger. And with monsters ambushing inside means that it will spawn inside a circle anyway, then you don't really have to worry about it. I expect that in the future we're gonna complete every Soul Spire in a few seconds maximum. So you can just walk in and then if nothing is there, monsters just spawn on you anyway. You only need 15 kills to complete a Spire, which is not very much. So even if they spawn a very moderate amount of monsters, it should be fine. So I'm definitely excited to see how well Spires will do in the future. And it should not really be such a big deal even in parties anymore. And then we also have the Hellborns. So Hellborn was also just terrible. And apparently, maybe even bugged, but they also made it so that there's more Hellborn ambushes, so we'll see. I'll also try this when the patch goes live. Then we have a bunch of little buffs here, mostly for the rogues, so the rogues are getting a little bit of goodies here. So hit and run especially is something that, for example, Dance and Nice runs and some of the speed farming builds, so that's getting a bit of a buff here. Then we have the imbued upgrade here, which is maybe helpful for a few builds, and we have also an Alpha Maker buff here. So the Alpha Maker buff is probably the most impactful one, because this is actually used for like the top tier build that we have on the Rogue, which is like this dual generator, Heartseeker, Forceful Arrow combo. And well, this can also help other like combo point ranged builds that previously were not running Alpha Maker. But maybe now you're going to have something like a combo point pen shot, combo point rapid fire, like popping off a little bit more. Overall, it's not going to move the needle too much. Rogue probably remains the lowest pushing class, but I don't think this is really a problem. Rogue is insanely good in Season 10, I think. And the power level is generally so high that rogues are just flying for everything in the game. So I think this is kind of good. Then we also have some other like random buffs. There's Single-Minded Fury is, I mean, if you want to try that, go ahead. But I don't really have any hope there. For Zorks, Crackling Energy no longer gets picked up when you're full with the passive. Then we have also like another 1 or 2 buffs here, but not really too much in there basically. Convocation of Spirits is up here. It's like the unique power for the Spiritborn. That does a bit more damage now. I don't really expect much of that. I haven't really tried much of it, to be honest, but Spiritborn Palatable is so ridiculous with some of the builds that I don't think this is gonna get anywhere close to that, but it might be good enough for some meme build, so we'll see. There's also a bunch of bug fixes. For example, Chaos Armor Hesha Ikizungi was not really getting greater affixes sometimes properly, and there's also a few bug fixes down here, which are all not really that impactful. I also noticed I actually just added a node here. Aspect of Wild Rage will be re-enabled. So I guess I can remove this node here because that was not there yesterday when I checked this. But yeah, overall, most of these bug fixes are kind of whatever. I guess one that is somewhat important here is the Rogue Shadow Clone Overpower with the basic skills. So that's like another thing that will buff this whole like highest pushing build that I have right now with a double basic skills. So we do expect rogues to probably go into like the 120 something range now and kind of catch up to the other classes, but probably not be like the #1 or something like that. And that's pretty much about it here for this patch. So kind of a small patch, to be honest. It's been 2 weeks and I did expect you would probably see a little bit more balancing and maybe some other tweaks. And I'm also very surprised, no mentions of Autobug Chaos Armors. There's at least a handful or so of those that don't work at all, like Doman Stone, Tusk Helm, Mantle of Mountain's Fury. There's probably a few more, but this is like something that comes to mind, and no mentions of those or any gold or material changes. So if you were waiting for those, I didn't expect anything here, but now that we don't have dupes, I guess people have kind of understood that grinding their stuff out can be kind of tough, and this is how the game works, I guess. But for now, no relief is coming with this if you were struggling, and well, we'll see if they can do some other changes. But we have the double whisper event, so that will definitely help a lot if you had any kind of like material or gold issues before. And that's it for patch 2.4.1. I'm gonna keep you guys posted with whatever else comes up, so stay tuned. I also have a bunch of more build guides coming, and we have our hardcore SSF event starting next Friday, which I'm also gonna talk about in another video soon. But if you have seen that from last season, for example, we're gonna do something very similar again, like a PoE mini gauntlet, basically. That's gonna be very fun. Stay tuned for that, and otherwise, see you guys next time.